A few weeks ago, I attended the Kiko Loureiro Guitar Experience Camp in Helsinki, Finland. It's 2 full days where we go over technique, practice routines, harmony concepts, improvisation, live jams, and of course, tons of networking. At the end of each day, we end with a jam session where everyone gets a chance to go up on stage and jam with Kiko over one of his backing tracks for about a minute or so. I had been practicing for this moment for quite a while, and I was very happy with this jam at the end of the first day. Now, even though this was a very supportive environment, it's not a relaxed one because I'm on stage with my guitar hero in front of a bunch of guitar nerds that really know how to play. So it feels like a real sink or swim moment once you get up on stage. So I want to walk you through exactly what was going on in my mind and what I'm playing so that if you find yourself in this situation, you can stay grounded, not be as nervous, and have an idea of what you want to play. And stay tuned to the end where I'll tell you exactly how I improved my improvisation and the exact steps you can take to learn this too. The first thing to know about improv if you're a beginner is that improv is made up of 3 things. There are motifs, patterns, and licks. And the second thing to know when you get into a live situation like this is to only play the things that you know, meaning you've practiced creating motifs, practiced running different patterns, forward, backward, linearly, and diagonally, and you've analyzed all your licks in different keys, having different entry and exit points, and so on. Now, the reason I say to play the things that you know is because watch what happens at the start of this. I just had my guitar plugged in, I'm getting adjusted, I look over and the turn of the backing track just happened. Now Kiko is giving me the point like start playing, so I start playing, and then I get a shove from Andras to stand in the middle of the stage. Not to mention the stage monitors and the PA are loud and adrenaline is going, so unless you play live often, this will be way out of your element even if you practice improvising all the time. Your brain is going to be working at like half its full potential because of everything that is going on. Now let's look at the first notes here. Before Kiko even started the jam, he said, I'll choose a backing track in E minor so no one can complain. E minor is one of the most common keys guitarists like to play in, so it's very well mapped for us. So the first thing I want to do is establish a motif, establish a melody. So this was the first thing that I came up with. Just a very simple line, straight E minor pentatonic. It even starts in the home bass pentatonic shape, and I just want something nice and pleasant for the ear to catch onto so I can reference that later on. Now from here, I want to go into a little shred run. I'm going to go into highlighting the B minor triad, which is the 5th above E minor. Normally I would play a G major here because it would be part of the pentatonic scale. I wanted to highlight the 9th to give that extra bit of flavor. So once I highlight that B minor triad, then I go up the E minor scale and then just back down the E minor scale. And then once I get down to the F sharp, then I highlight the B minor triad again. So the whole thing is... And then I go back up the B minor triad, and then just up the E minor scale again. And then I think I bend on the D there. Let me play that again. So something like... Something like that. So I want to have like a melody line, a little bit of shred, and then kind of close out with a melody line. So what I came up with here... So what I could have done is just established the first melody line as the call, and then played that as the response, and then gone into a little bit of the E minor shred. It could have been... and then into the shred. But I did the call, the shred, and then the response. So this is a cool idea that I learned from Mateus Asato in his acetonics course. So his philosophy in that whole course, when you shred the pentatonic, you throw in a couple of blue notes and you throw in a couple of chromatics and you get this really cool sound. So this exact lick is I go straight up E minor pentatonic, then I do a trill on the blue note, and then I come down from the 3rd into the 2nd, and then slide up from the major 7th into the root. So you get that harmonic minor sound. and then into a straight chromatic, and then into this cool little blues lick. So you hit the blue note into the root, and then we slide down from the blue note into the fourth, into the third, into the second, and then this cool little finish where we hit that major seventh again, so you get that harmonic minor sound, into the blue note, and then into the third, back into the root. So the whole thing is... So that's a really cool concept and a cool idea, and just an awesome lick I like to throw in. So once I finish that lick, now I kind of want to step away from the shred a little bit and establish another melody line. Add a little more repetition, again, just to have the ear to hang on to something. And then I just walk up the E minor triad from here into the blue note and back to the root. So one really cool thing is that there are teams of people out there who make really catchy melodies and they become really popular songs. So as artists, why not steal from them and reference them in our improvisation? I have tons of melody lines memorized in every location mapped across the fretboard. So when I finish this blues lick here, I'm already set to go on Gimme Gimme by ABBA. I know the start of it is on this note. I also have The Next Episode by Dr. Dre starting on that note too. It doesn't matter where I land, I have a bunch of those popular melodies available to me and I can reference them. So then after ABBA, I just run up the pentatonic again. Then I come down the pentatonic with a little bit of phrasing. Then I reference the intro motif again. And then now I go into licks that were actually written by Kiko. So the first one is straight from his song Overflow. So this is 2 harmonic minor patterns. So the first pattern, and then we do this 2 notes up, 1 note back, finger twister I like to call it. And then it just finishes off hitting the blue note in this chromatic style, back to the root. So the whole thing is... So that's the first lick, and then now the second lick comes from his song Lost in Seconds. So I'm actually playing this song with 2 of my other friends at the guitar experience, so I already had this lick memorized in all different locations because I like it so much. So I hit a different exit point out of that one. I didn't fully finish the lick. I just walk back down E minor pentatonic, and then I do a unison bend. And then to finish the phrase, I hit the harmonic on the 9th fret of the G string, and then dive bomb. Now, when the adrenaline is going, it feels like time slows down, so I feel like I've been playing for a while, so I feel like my time is done and I'm ready to exit the stage, and then I look over and Kiko's like, no, you better keep playing. So I grab onto that motif again. And then he's amping up the audience. He tells me to like bring more energy, play faster, you know. So my first reaction is to go into the Buckethead pattern. It comes from like Paul Gilbert. He calls it the snarly dog.
I call him snarly dog, like.
But Buckethead plays it all the time. And then after that lick, just bend to the B. And then I do some more just E minor pentatonic phrasing to finish it out. And then when I end that last phrase, I actually land on the G there. which isn't something I really wanted to do. It's the third. Kind of wanted to hit the E. So after I give him the fist bump, then I go hit that E and then call the solo. Now, I've spent the past 18 months learning how to improvise well by learning from my teacher Stip over at melodicmindmap.com, and we've worked nonstop getting ready for this moment. Before having him as my teacher, I was sounding really robotic, just playing the same simple licks and being stuck in the same pentatonic shape. But now what's cool is that I can actually see and visualize the entire fretboard and actually play the sounds and notes that I'm hearing in my head. So if you want to see rapid progress in your improvisation and theory application skills, consider signing up over at melodicmindmap.com, and I'll leave a link to that below the subscribe button. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.